Matt,
Yeah.
I have recently been thinking a lot about swag. I was inspired by this hat right here.
Yeah,
This
I love
guy,
that hat.
yeah, it's cool, right? This guy, Vin, in LinkedIn, who I don't know, he doesn't know me. He won't figure out who I am until probably we publish this thing.
Cool. We'll tag him.
He looks like he could be your cousin, right? Like he's got all the like fine Jersey features and
Yeah.
swagger that I like in you as well.
Yeah.
You know, he made a post about this hat. It says "Keep creating" on the front. On the side, it has his brand. Reminds me of my content hat that's distributed. And what I see in swag is I see like a margarine approach. People are trying to like buy a bunch of swag to give out to as many people because they hope that somebody sees them. And what I think is really good is not doing that, but instead figuring out what is a really cool looking item that you can create for someone. Go item and messaging first that someone relates.
Yeah.
Brand second on the side. It's kind of like what my favorite hats do. The new era is on the side. My team is on the front, right? And be really tactical about it. He's monetized it, right? Like I bought this hat. I do it as like gifts at the end of the year. I do the bomber jackets that I personalize on the back, and just being way more conscientious about buying something that somebody's going to be like really pumped to get and then wear later on, as opposed to spreading it out. You have other ideas of other ways that doesn't even involve printing things, but like talk to me first of all, tactical of like margarine spread out swag versus like tactical gifting swag. What do you think about that?
So I think there is a lot of conversation around swag, a lot of conversation around sustainability, a lot of conversation just around waste in general with swag.
Yeah.
Handing out pens, handing out junk, just the amount of printed, physical, plastic junk that people just hand out to give to people. So a couple good examples here. What I would say is, I think what the industry is asking and what I'm saying is, let's rethink this a little bit. Let's get more creative than just getting a bunch of branded pens, or let's get I like that idea. It's a trendy hat. It's got something that people identify with on the front. Keep creating logo, right? So a few examples when we hosted our event, and I think the devil is in the details of when you do swag. So good example is know your audience that is receiving the swag, and then work from there. People go ahead and like, oh, we should do these and we should do that. And it's like, you're not even factoring who those people are. I use the example all the time. There is a big difference if your target audience is like high level engineers and if your target audience is like high level chief growth officers or CROs. Like they're just different animals, right? Totally different animals. Like one is like a lion, one is like a turtle to a degree.
A realtor is very different than an accountant.
Yes, very, very different. So I think understanding that is the first step that I would take, and then trying to identify what you can give to them, what you can do for them that would be appreciated, valued, and that they would enjoy is a simple process. So
Step one.
Step one, right? And I think so many people are just skipping that step, and it does not take that long. What we did at our event, we hosted our own event. We brought in head of global events, directors of events, like high level, very smart event marketers running programs for companies. If you look at their profile, they understand the sustainability issue at events. They understand the call for less swag. They understand the less for reduction in plastic and products and printed materials. They've also seen every piece of swag on the planet. They've bought it. They've purchased it. They've sourced it. So what we did was, one of the ideas of many that we implemented was when they showed up and they checked into their hotel, we had a big basket laid out for them. It was very minimalistic with like snacks that we already knew that they wanted, because we asked, are you sweet? Are you salty? What do you enjoy? A little note in there also had like their favorite beverage that was in the fridge, right? So very personalized and customized. And again, not so much that they wouldn't drink and eat it, but just a perfect amount. Next thing is we have this card that basically said, and it was written personally, and it was basically like, rather than give you a bunch of crap that you don't want, that's not sustainable, that you're going to throw away or whatever, what we have decided to do is take the funds that we were going to use for swag and donate them to local charities. Here is 4 vetted local charities. Here's the description, the breakdown, the run on them. Please check which one you'd like your funds to go to and bring this downstairs tomorrow morning and give to Liz and Maggie.
Beautiful.
And it was a hit.
They loved it.
Loved it.
Yeah.
But if we had done that for a different
For a
breed,
bunch of engineer dudes.
it might have not worked. They might have not cared. They're like, I don't care. Like, but it worked for them. So being specific, and again, also we did think sustainably. We did think, how do we steer from having a bunch of crap?
Yep. True. You also, so that's an example of a hosted event.
Well, we
right?
did, yeah.
Where you hosted it, you were able to have the bag. It's limited to 25 people.
Yep.
For people that are having trade show booths
Yep.
and they want to employ this thing. And they also, like part of the swag thing is a way to engage, right? So it's like, it's
It
cool
is.
if you're going to like give a thing for a charity, but if you're a trade show booth and you got to attract attention,
Yeah.
how can you engage with a strategy like that?
So you do. So there is a piece. There is something to people wanting the swag. People seeing something and thinking that's cool, or wanting to get into a raffle, or seeing somebody on the show floor and say, how do I get this, right?
Yeah.
So good case recently, we were working with a client of ours. They're awesome. They're open-minded. They love our process that is different from a lot of other companies, kind of the intention and the strategy prior hand. And one of the discussions that we had with them was they were going to Microsoft Ignite event. They are a sponsor. They are an exhibitor at Microsoft Ignite event. This is what we were designing and building a booth and helping them execute a strategy for. And Microsoft had went to their sponsors and exhibitors and basically said, we don't want a bunch of plastic and crap and tchotchkes and printed materials and things all over the floor. Help us be more sustainable, please. So our contacts at our client, their event people, they took that, had some ideas, ran with it, and then brought us a bunch of ideas and said, hey, this is what we're thinking. This is a bit of an initiative here. What do you all think? What do you want to do? And one of their event people had a really good idea about having people come to the booth and give them their growth and company initiative ideas, right? What are their growth goals? What are the company initiative goals that they're trying to hit? And for everyone that came by and did that, they would give them a leaf to put on a tree. And then when that tree was filled with X amount, I think it was like 280, then they would donate a tree and plant a tree somewhere. I think it was like US, France, and Africa, somewhere, right? They were going to plant these trees.
That's cool.
So, yeah, I mean, they came to us with a little bit of this idea. We helped them sort of navigate, craft it, organize it, and then we said, hey, at first we were like, oh, let's do a big tree, let's put this thing, blah, blah, and we're like, hey, more plastic, more wood, more junk, more crap. And Cody, our director of marketing that helps with all the campaigns with our customers and ideas, was like, hey, we're considering using a video wall inside the booth. Let's add some extra areas. Let's double down on that video wall, and let's put up a tree and use their colors, pink and purple.
An LED tree.
An LED big video wall tree that now grows, and you can do it. So someone comes over, gives their growth plan, says, hey, I want to put a leaf up there. I want to get a tree planted. Boom. Now they can see their leaf go on the tree. And then throughout the day, people see this big pink and purple tree on their booth on the wall that's adding leaves every single day. And I want to say, don't quote me on this, but I think they're going to plant 280 trees.
Let's go. Let's go. So it has engagement. It has sustainability.
Yeah. People were coming to the booth asking, how can I get a leaf and plant a tree? Yeah.
Makes you part of a narrative.
Yes.
Right? Because you see the tree grow as you do it. I think that's a 10 out of 10.
Very cool example.
Last thing that I just thought of is I just came back from, it's like a smaller event where I saw our boy Phil Mershon.
Yeah.
And it's called The Thing, right? And there's a guy called Mike Brennan who has made a name for himself doing character sketches of speakers. And when you come off stage, every speaker gets this like character sketch
of them speaking.
Now I, who has been like following kind of like the influencer world for a long time, I'm like, I need to go to an event where Mike Brennan does a thing because it's going to be like a status symbol for me.
Cool.
And when I think of that, I was thinking about it as more like a word of mouth thing.
Yeah.
But now I kind of think of it as swag, right? Like if your swag budget is invested in a sketch artist that someone's going to like create this like bespoke thing about you, guess what 100% of sharing happens on that thing. Everybody shared that thing. I've known about that event for a long time. I know about the events that this dude sketches at because that spreads on social media, and that's another kind of like different engagement mechanism that also creates this digital word of mouth that people spread.
I think that's creative. That's outside the box. That's something that we do with our customers where we push them. And we have some really great customers that they want to think outside the box. And what we really try to do is just root them in a foundation. Say, hey, like, let's get creative with budget. Let's get creative with swag. Let's get creative with everything. But let's have a foundation. Who are we doing this for? What are the initiatives? And then you can draw and stem the ideas, because when you get creative and it hits with the person, with the personality, with the reasons they're there, with the industry, that is really when those things have like an exponential effect.
Word of mouth effect.
Yes, they
Right.
do.
Okay. As we finish this episode, intentionality is huge.
Yep. Customer, understanding customer and who they are, why they're there, what's important to them, what's going on culturally in the world. Like, dumb example, but simple example, the hat that you have. That style of hat right now is culturally very popular. So if you put that on a different style, maybe baseball cap or some kind of thing, that maybe it wouldn't get, right? But so little thing like that, sustainability.
Story first, brand second.
Yep.
Right.
Love that.
Like I think
Love
that's
that.
that's a key thing.
Well, people identify.
Well,
so
but I think
keep
the tree
creating.
is also story first, brand second too.
The tree is 100% story. People are like, why do you have a tree on the, I mean, a huge tree, digital tree on the side of your booth that is bare and now it's growing every day. And like, it's an ask. Oh, hey, this is what we're doing. Oh my God, I would love to give my growth goal, which ties into their industry, ties into why they're there. Like, there's so much of it is good when it's done the right way. And I just urge people, it doesn't take that much. It takes stop, pause, rethink, get more intentional, get more strategic, stop going to events and showing up and doing things the same way you always have.
And the word of mouth is exponential.
If you do it right, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Can we, speaking of word of mouth, can we like thank Vin for inspiring this
Thanks,
episode?
Vin.
Give it like a Jersey Vin, like a
Thanks,
Vin,
Vin.
Vin,
Vinny.
Hey,
Hey, oh, Vinny.
hey, Vin.
Thank you, Vin.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vin. Thank you. Thank you, Vin.